Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're talking about the New York Knicks versus the Philadelphia 76ers, the second seed versus the seventh seed. Let me hear your thoughts before we start today's video. Who do you think is going to win? Why do you think they're going to win? And how many games do you think this series will go? Before we start today's video, I'm going to break down how this works. We'll spend the first 5 minutes talking about the New York Knicks, the last 5 minutes talking about the 76ers, and the final 5 minutes talking who will win this and why. And we'll still talk about the loser and how the loser could win it. But that's going to be it for the intro. Like, comment, and subscribe. Knicks basketball. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the Knicks on this one if I had to be a better man. I don't even mean to be rude. Okay? We don't know. We don't know where Joel Embiid is. And regardless of the fact that Julius Randle isn't there, I have a feeling that this team might be better without Julius Randle. I'm sorry. OG Anunoby's insane. The Knicks are the 7th best offensive rating in the league. They're also, they're 18th in 10th in defense. My apology. I don't know why I said 18th. 10th in defense, 5th best net rating. They got Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart. It's in Villanova, New York. And I know people are going to be like, well, Julius Randle is your 24-point per game scorer. Well, OG Anunoby is dropping 14 a night. And Dante DiVincenzo is dropping 15. So I'm not too worried for me. I'm not too worried. And you want to hear another thing about Mr. OG Anunoby? If you guys didn't know this, OG Anunoby is a guy that, for his career, he's averaged 17 at some points. For his career, he's a 12 points per game scorer, but, between 2020 and 2022, he was a 17-point per game scorer. So, he can get his numbers up. Like, right now, these aren't his true shooting numbers. They also got Josh Hart, who's an absolute animal. They got Bojan Bogdanovic if they need scoring. They still got Deuce McBride, Isaiah Hartenstein, Precious Achiuwa, Albert, more scoring, Mitchell Robinson. So for me, when I just look at this squad, I'm just like, how? Yeah, like, first off, they allow the second least amount of points. They basically are one of the best defenses, like top 10 in every category except like 3-point percentage. So it's just the New York Knicks are just top to bottom. Loaded with depth, loaded with defense, loaded with scoring. And you look at a Sixers squad that, there's Tyrese Maxey, there's Tobias Harris, but if Joel doesn't have a good game, and if you just tell Tyrese to beat you, take out Tobias, take out Kelly Oubre, take out Kyle Lowry, like, can the rest of the guys beat you? I don't know. Like, New York just seems like top to bottom right there. Like the bigger team. Like, first off, the Sixers aren't necessarily an efficient team. They're not efficient at shooting the three. They're not efficient at shooting, inside. They're middle of the pack in basically everything except, free throws. And, like, interior defense, arguably. Like, I look at this and I think, yes, or the 76ers are more top heavy. Like, their two best players are better. Tyrese and Joel Embiid, arguably those two players combined, are better than Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby combined. But I think OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, and the rest of the Knicks squad is better than Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and the rest of the Sixers squad, especially with Joel, we know, is supposedly at like 70%, 60%. He's not at full health. So for me, when I look at it that way, I think New York really might be the deeper team. It's just it's a hard matchup, especially with Joel not being at full health. It makes it hard to think that New York has so many centers that just basically do this, like, platoon, just keep throwing fucking bigs at Joel Embiid until they wear him out. And I think that's, like, a really good strategy, because I don't know if the freaking Sixers are going to have the depth to the stop, and be able to, like, the Sixers be able to make make an actual valiant effort to stop what the Knicks are capable of doing, because of how well constructed this roster is, from every position being at least like 3 players deep and having different types of guys they can use. And this might be the best team Tom Thibodeau's ever had. I know people are going to be like, that's fucking crazy, but like, I'm serious, guys. I don't know if Tom Thibodeau's had a better team. It's pretty fucking wild when you think about it. And it's fun. It's a good squad. And I think it's just a matter of time if they can get over the hump, in my opinion. Okay, how do the Sixers win this? The Sixers are the 14th best offense, 11th best defense rating, 8th net rating, but those numbers aren't real because Joel Embiid missed a bunch of games. Joel Embiid only played 39 games. Isn't that crazy? He missed like 43 games this year. Fucking insane. It's crazy to think about that. For me, I sit around and I look at like Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Kelly Oubre, Kyle Lowry, Nick Batum, Buddy Hield. They got Campaign, Paul Reed. I mean, they got some depth. They've got some depth. And this is a team, they average almost 15 stocks per game. And I mean, they get to the free throw line so much, and they do a really good job of limiting their opponent's field goal attempts, limiting their opponent's three-point shots, and they do a great job of forcing turnovers and limiting their points. Like, they outscore their opponents by almost 5 points a game. So for me, I don't think it's ever been a question of, they're bleeding points. I really think the biggest question in this series is Joel Embiid. If Joel Embiid's healthy enough to play all the games and be an impactful player, then they're going to win this soundly. But if Joel Embiid's lugging around and struggling to move up and down the court, I genuinely feel like it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for them to move around and be a team that, without Joel, I think Joel is the whole thing, because Joel has so much gravity and like he draws like the opponent's attention so well that if they can truly, have Joel, even if Joel's not 100%, I think just having him out there opens things up for Tyrese, open things up for Tobias and Buddy Hield and Oubre, and helps this offense flow so much better. But if he's not out there, it's a completely different team. And I think that's the biggest barometer for the 76ers, is knowing that they're going to be healthy enough to have Joel out there for a majority of the game. Because Joel being out there giving you at least like a handful of points, but being able to just take up space, like, he's freaking massive. I don't think you guys understand how big Joel Embiid is. Like, he is a huge human. And for me, I think even if he's not at his best ability, just having him out there is a distraction enough to take advantage and to be able to beat a team like, the Knicks. And I think Mitch Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein can't stop him. I also think no Julius Randle there. Tobias Harris is going to fucking eat. Who's going to stop Tobias Harris? Tobias Harris could really be the MVP for the 76ers, especially if Joel Embiid's not healthy. Like, Tyrese Maxey's going to need Joel Embiid. I think Tyrese Maxey and Jalen Brunson are going to be going head-to-head. The Sixers are going to have to rely on their three-point shot. But that's the other thing, is they have Nick Nurse as their coach. Like, I personally believe Nick Nurse is the better coach in this series. Nick Nurse is a better coach than Tom Thibodeau, in my opinion. I love Nick Nurse as a coach. If I had to say so myself, I do truly believe that
Mr. You know, Nick Nurse has done a way better job at like building a roster and not building a roster, getting the most out of his roster instead of Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau, notoriously, if you don't do what he wants, he'll push you out as he sees fit, whether you like that or not. That's kind of Tom Thibodeau's thing. So it's definitely an interesting situation. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts if you're a Knicks fan or not. What do you guys think of their chances of winning this? I definitely think it's an interesting one, especially with how everything's laid out for the Knicks, especially with the Heat playing the Boston Celtics in the first round. So it's gonna be interesting, to say the least, guys, in my opinion. To say the least. But yeah, let's get out of here. I want to hear you guys' opinion. Peace out, everybody. Okay, this is where it gets hard. I think this is going to be a 6-game series. This could even go to 5. I think it's a 5-game series if the Knicks just swamp them. There's no freaking Joel. And it's a 6-game series if Joel's there and the Knicks still win. Guys, I'm sorry. This isn't a good Sixers squad. And I love Nick Nurse. I love his book. I think Nick Nurse is a great coach. I think he's better than Tom Thibodeau, but I think the Knicks are a significantly better team. Not just, like, yeah, the Sixers have more firepower available, especially with no Julius Randle. But the defense that the Sixers can provide, and I know the scoring is so good in the NBA, but the way that people I don't think Jalen Brunson can be stopped. I don't think OG Anunoby, Dante DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart, this Knicks squad, just kind of on a tear. And I think they're on their way to a crash course collision with the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. And regardless of what you believe and what you guys think this team is, it's way better than anyone could imagine. And that's the scariest part about all of this, is that this is just not a normal team that we've seen. I said it earlier in the video. This is like the best team that Tom Thibodeau's ever had. And for them, I think it just goes to show like what they've been building here. Like it's coming together, and it's exciting, and they're excited, and there's a reason for that, and it's because of what they've been able to, in my opinion, to do. So that's where I want to hear your guys' opinion, if you guys agree with me, or if it's just me that I think this. I definitely think it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and it's fun to watch. But I'm not saying that if Joel Embiid's at full force, this is a completely different series, but I just don't see Joel Embiid being full strength. There's multiple reports being like he's not full strength, so I'm going to take and it's not just like national media, it's like local media also saying it. So for me, I believe that it's going to be a slugfest. So if you're a 76ers fan, I'd like to hear your opinions down below. Who do you think is going to win this and why? It's going to be a fun one. Definitely worth tuning in. But if you guys have any thoughts that maybe I missed, let me know. I'm definitely always curious to hear people's opinions. But that's basically going to be it for me today. I hope you guys did enjoy, like, comment, and subscribe.